Hi guys, okay, this is our last video that I spoke about in our previous lecture. Yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so we're looking at the single price detailed methods, example 6, the parametric cost method as per appendix 2. If you guys look on your appendix 2, it's the last example on there. So I've gone through this very not very briefly, but I've gone through it in class before. So how this method basically works is your junior colleague forgot to complete an elemental cost analysis for basic building cost of a new project, which has to be ready for a planning meeting with the client later that morning. And he comes to you for help, and he has only completed a couple of items. In this instance, it's 5 elements, as per the table that I'm going to show you shortly. You realize that it is impossible to complete the elemental analysis for the remaining elements in time, and that the client has to be kept satisfied this morning with an approximate elemental analysis. Okay, so to make use of the historical data of similar projects in the fire safe and the parametric cost method to estimate the total basic building cost only by using the elements already given in the parameters. Okay, so basically you're using your resources to try and calculate what it is. Okay, so this is the information that you've got. So your historical project, you had project 1, 2, 3, and you can see there's different elements in your estimate. So you've got piling, none of which of these projects had piling. You had foundations, which was of a certain cost, your basement, your groundworks. Obviously this is very dated prices, but it's just easier to calculate if it's not too high. So for our exercise purposes, this is perfect. Structural frame, we didn't have anything. External envelope, your roof, upper floors, etc. So up to your special elements. You'll recognize these elements as per your elemental estimate that you guys did. Okay, then the basic building cost was calculated for project 1, 2, and 3. You can see probably these projects were spread over a couple of years, as you can see that they have inflated over the years. Okay, then so you've calculated your basic building cost, then you've got some soil drainage, stormwater drainage, external works, alterations, you get your subtotal, and then you calculate all the rest, your contingencies and your VAT. Okay, so very straightforward. So this is the information that's given to you. So again, this is the other information that's given to you. So this is what your colleague did. He calculated the foundations at 108 Rand per square, and then your foundations, your ground floor construction at 162 Rand, your internal divisions at 172, your ceilings, and your external envelope. Okay, so now basically what you do is now you go and search for these elements in your project. Okay, so what you do is you go to your historical data, and okay, sorry, before we get there, just have a look at the following. So basically you calculate your parametric cost, which is those elements added together to get a cost per square meter. Okay, so then the next step is to actually identify the items. So determine the parametric cost tariff as a percentage of the total building cost for the 3 historical projects. So firstly you go and add your 5480. This is now from your project 1. You go and search for the items that you have in your parametric cost total, the items that your colleague actually identified and could do. Now you go to your historical project 1 and you calculate what those items were and you add them together. Okay, and then you divide it with your total basic building cost as per let me just navigate there quickly. It is on page 2.32, you can see that your total basic building cost is 152 of 590,000, and then you basically calculate what percentage of these items amounts to how relevant these items were to your total building costs. So you calculate how much these items were divided by your total basic building cost to get a percentage of 60%. So you now know that these items amounted to 60% of your total building cost of project 1. You do the same for project 2. You can see that they amounted to 57%, and project 3 amounted to 63%, and thus you work out the average of those and you add them together, divided by 3 to get an average of 60%. Okay, now that's all well and wonderful, but what do you do with that? Now you take your estimated building cost of 714 Rand and 17 cents, which we calculated earlier on, and you times that with your or extrapolated, if you want to use the correct term, but basically you times it with you build it up to your total cost, which is 100 over 60, and you get your new estimated cost per square meter using the parametric system. Okay, I think that will make sense. Then I just added another example. You guys can have a look at this, and basically this is what your friend did. He did the following items: ceilings, envelope, and you have 250, and you've got your parametric cost, which is amounted to 1,040 Rand. Okay, now so what you basically do is you have your historical data. So I only added project 1 and 2. Now you go through it systematically and you identify your different items which correlate. So foundations, ground floor construction, internal divisions, ceilings. Okay, and you add those items together to get your relevant percentage. So those items added together, you divide that with your basic building cost to get your new parametric cost or percentage that you will extrapolate your parametric cost with. Okay, so on the next slide that is shown, so here I've identified those items, added them together. Okay, so it's 506 divided by your total building cost, so it's 18.1%, and then your second one is 612, which is amounted to 39%. Thus those two together divided by 2 is about 50%. It's not the best of examples, it's a very low percentage. Usually you want to have it as high as possible. The higher it is, the more accurate it is. And then you take your parametric cost and you times it with 100 over 28.8 to get your new basic building cost. And that's it. Thank you guys.